This presidential primary season has shined a spotlight on the rules which govern our elections. Not the rules set forth by the Secretary of State or the people of California, but the rules set by the political parties themselves. We have debated the validity of superdelegates and the merits of primaries versus caucuses. In California in particular, we saw millions of independent voters disenfranchised when they were unable to vote for the presidential candidate of their choosing. While some political parties have chosen to hold open primaries, the reality is that far too many of these primaries are open in name only. Whether independent voters were unaware of their ability to choose a partisan ballot or felt compelled to vote for a candidate from another party, many were effectively prohibited from casting their vote. This year, we realized, perhaps for the very first time, that one of our fundamental rights, the right to a free and fair election, is being violated. So today we announce the introduction of Assembly Constitutional Amendment 13, which will provide every voter, regardless of their party affiliation, the right to cast a vote for whichever presidential candidate they prefer. When voters passed Prop 14 here in California in 2010, they demonstrated a desire to do away with restricted primaries, where party leaders decide who has a vote and who does not. Prop 14 created a system where each voter has the right to make up their own mind to cast a ballot for whichever candidate best represents their values and beliefs. But Prop 14 was incomplete. While it transformed every other election in California, it left presidential elections untouched. ACA 13 provides voters the opportunity to finish the job, to ensure presidential primaries play by the same rules as every other election. This amendment ensures voters, not party leaders, set the rules. It ensures everyone has a voice and a choice. And it is very simple. The amendment says that every presidential candidate will appear on every primary ballot, and every voter will have the right to cast their vote in whichever primary they so choose. This is about the freedom to choose, a fundamentally basic electoral concept. The voters saw fit to provide that freedom in 2010, and we are hopeful they will do so again 6 years later.
When we drafted Proposition 14 in 2008 and we put it on the ballot in 2010, the fundamental reason that we did that was because we believe that elections are about voters. They're not about political parties. They're not about candidates. They're about voters and the ability of voters to choose the representatives they want to represent them in the legislature and in Congress. In drafting Proposition 14, it wasn't possible to address the presidential election in the same way that you addressed the top two open primary in California. So this constitutional amendment will address those issues. And the important thing to understand about this is that it gives every voter the opportunity to express their opinion about who they think the candidate should be for the most important office in the United States, while at the same time preserving the rights of the political parties to choose the delegates that they want to represent them at national conventions.
What I think is great about this bill is it's in its simplicity. It's simple. It says all the voters will get one ballot. They can choose any candidate of their choice, yet the political parties only have to consider the results of their own members if they want to. This makes it easier for registrars of voters. It makes it easier for the Secretary of State, but most importantly and most fundamentally, it makes it easier for the voter to know all you have to do is show up at the polls, vote for who you want, and know that you have a process that really listens to them.
This is, in fact, a simple bill. Assemblymember Olson and myself are both members of a political party. But it is important that we strike a balance between the rights of the political parties and the rights of the individual. Every vote should count. Every voter should have a right and an opportunity to cast a vote for the most important office in this country. And that's the simple intent of this bill. It's a good bill, and we hope, as Assemblymember Olson said, to kick off a national effort throughout many states to use this as model legislation at the state level to make fair and freer elections.